So why don't you give me a sense for where you're at and let's see what could be most valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm trying to pivot the business a little bit. So I was doing most of all Facebook ads for contractors.
Yeah.
Now the main issue with this is they can't close for shit. So it's usually what's going on if I'm sending, let's say, 100 leads to a contractor, they don't close anything, say the
Yeah.
leads are shit. It's not normal that when you're talking to 100 people, you're not able to close at least one, right? So there's all this kind of process that's a little bit messed up. I know I'm able to close myself, so I'm trying to do something more complete, more comprehensive for them, where they could not only learn themselves how to generate their leads, but also close them, right? So it's all the way from branding to just the way you present yourself and the
Yeah.
way you're able to speak with clients. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're coaching them on all that, or are you doing the selling for them?
No, I would like to coach them toward that. That would be the main goal.
Cool.
Uh,
Got it. So until recently, your focus was just getting them leads, and now you want to add on the
correct.
thing of, okay, how do you then close those leads and
Yeah,
all that?
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, correct.
And where's the offer right now? Did you create your dynamic offer?
Yeah, I have two offers right now. So
Okay.
I have a 5K offer where
Yeah.
they get I built a CRM of Go Eye level, so they get access to that, plus
Yeah.
courses on all that stuff, how to generate leads themselves, all that thing. But the
Yeah.
second offer is more of a one-on-one coaching offer where I would maybe jump on the call once a month, just
Yeah.
so that most of them have shiny object syndrome as well.
Yeah.
So they just to make sure they are accountable, they are on the right track, they do the proper thing, and to really grow. I think that's what's missing for these guys.
Yeah. So the first insight for you is I think you would do better to treat these two things as one offer
Okay.
at two different levels. Did you watch the offer architecture training?
I did, yeah. I did.
So let me just show you how this applies. So you can imagine you have one, two, even three offers in what you're currently doing. What we want to do is we want to turn it into one dynamic offer where there is a base core offer, which is a combination of content, like curriculum content, some sort of a community, and group coaching. So the way I would approach what you're doing is have that base core offer that you use to bring people in the door. And then, so what I do is when someone joins, they basically start with a one-on-one call. So you sell the core offer, you add a kickoff call, and on the kickoff call, you give them basically a way to go faster. This thing, your core offer, is going to be much cheaper than your done for you, right? So
Yeah, of course.
more but it's the same outcome. That's why it's vertical.
Mhm.
Make sense?
Does. Uh,
So let me just finish this thought. So
yeah.
you get people in who are interested in that outcome with the core offer. And once they start, then you offer them a way to go faster and say, hey, I do have a couple of spots for people who want me to just build this out for them. And I basically give you a turnkey, fully built out solution that includes all the best practices that I've learned over doing this for this much time with this many clients. And it's $5,000 one-time payment. Is that something you're interested in? I think it could be a great fit for you. By flipping it, so if you sell this up front, because of the ticket price, it's very inefficient because the 5K done for you is a very high friction sale in many ways. So what we do is we sell the lowest friction thing first, and then to those people who've already said yes to the outcome that you're offering, We give them an opportunity to go faster and have you basically do it for them.
Yeah, that does makes a lot of sense. That's what I had in my mind for a bit. So just getting people in and then just the setup of the go high level stuff. I know it's just going to be a pain in the ass for them. So I would then upsell with an
Yeah,
implementation for them. I
right.
don't want to do their ads itself. I think they would gain a lot from learning to do it themselves.
Yeah,
That's the whole idea
yeah,
behind all of that.
yeah,
But I can see how the implementation could be part of the what you call the LTV booster. So
yeah. Yeah, and you don't have to do the ads for them. In my system, where is it? So I have something called the automated customer engine, which is basically a kind of self-liquidating funnel that basically gets us customers every day, gets us leads every hour, customers every day, and clients every week. And this whole thing runs on autopilot. Like I was gone for a week. We were in LA, and you know, every day I'm getting more people buying and fully autopilot. And so I'm not necessarily doing, ads for them. I'm giving the templates and I give a go high level snapshot. You don't have to do it for them. I think it's much more scalable to just teach them how to do it.
exactly, exactly. The main thing with your I love all of your stuff. It makes perfect sense. The main thing for my niche especially is what you have with the architect blueprint.
Yeah.
To have that kind of bridge between the free stuff and
Yes.
the paid coaching, let's say for I don't really see myself selling out for less than the $1,000, let's say per month.
Yeah.
But that bridge is very important, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. The bridge is key because so if we go back to this, right? So we're saying that the core offer offers lower friction than the LTV boosters because it's a smaller price, right?
Yeah.
So for me, they can book a consulting call for $2,000 an hour. But I
Yeah.
don't lead with that. That's something I don't even push it, honestly. They can pay for the accelerator for $300 a week, or they can pay upfront painful for the year and save a bunch of money, or they can work with me one-on-one for $1,250 a week. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's much higher friction than this, right?
Yeah. It
So,
is.
but I don't lead with that. I lead with this. So the same way that the core offer is lower friction than the LTV, the products, the customer offers are lower friction than the core offer. So each of these products can be a customer offer, which is basically an offer that's designed to create a customer.
Yeah.
Basically, we want to turn leads into customers and then customers into clients because customers make better clients than and require less energy to become clients than trying to turn leads directly into clients.
Yeah. But it's the product that I don't think I can nail right now for this specific niche. I think that's key in all of your system. You have something unique, right? You sell without sales call. That's
Yeah,
very attractive to a lot of people.
right.
Um,
That's my big idea.
the
Yeah,
big idea, and then you sell a workshop pretty much to get to into your funnel,
yeah,
and that makes a lot of sense. Now, for home service business, I don't see what type of product that could be done to say even if it's a very low barrier of entry, right? $100. Let's say we use the same pricing. I
yeah.
don't see what I could sell them to pull them in.
So sequence matters. First, you want to create the dynamic offer and then get it cash flowing with minimum of 3 new clients because that gives us validation. The next step is what I call client converters, which are basically either a workshop or some sort of product that we put in front of our audience assets to give them an opportunity to become a customer. We try a few of these and then we analyze the data to see what the market wants. And then we build the ACE.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So that's step 3. Okay. So basically, this is what you want to understand, we want to build the core offer first. That's why the first step is you create the dynamic offer, you launch it, you validate it with 3 sales, and then you basically put it in front of your audience and get more sales if you can. Once we have this running, then we create some workshops to test and validate the best front door offer. But the front door offer is a portion of your core offer. And the big idea is a portion of your front door offer. So basically, what I'm saying is that for you, whatever that product is going to be a piece of the current thing that I want you to focus on.
Okay, so I gotta work things backward pretty much.
Bingo.
Okay, gotcha.
Bingo. Yeah.
So you would say now the main goal would be to get to those about the coaching offer, let's say $1,000 per month, where I
Yeah.
show them exactly what they have to do, how to sell, all that stuff, and
Yeah.
then work the way backward to build that automatic system, which would be the end goal of it.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Okay.
Otherwise, it's not efficient, right? Because if you started with that, there's an infinite number of things you could create, and you don't know what's going to actually lead to the best people coming into the actual thing that generates more money.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And okay, and would you go with just pure outreach to get those 3 clients right now and start from there? That would be the
What
goal.
do you have a list? Do you have what assets do you have right now?
Not much, to be honest. Like I'm working with. I got a few clients that I've been working for a long time with, but I
Yeah.
haven't been prospecting a lot. So I'm just fed up with all that stuff. I just want to build something that will be more sustainable.
Yeah. So I would say that outreach is probably your best bet. What we want to do is we want to do outreach to get to the instantiation of the core offer, right? So we want to, let's say it's 5 people paying you $1,000 a month, right? Let's say 5K a month. And let's say 1 or 2 out of those 5 pay you 5K to build out the whole thing,
Yeah,
right? So let's say you make 10K from the done for you, and you make another 5K a month recurring. Now we have a thing that's real, right?
yeah,
People are in, it's working, it's going, the train is moving.
yeah,
Now, what we want to do is think about more scalable ways to get people to basically interact with your offers in your business. So in the beginning, what's going to be most effective is what's the best result you've gotten your existing clients?
yeah. I got a bunch of results right now I could share.
Yeah, give me a couple.
Of one partner I have right now, they've done well over 100 leads, closed 100K in 2 weeks from an ad, spent $300 on it.
So 100 leads closed.
He's got a bunch in his pipeline, so that's closed to date, but there's going to be much more in the next few weeks.
Okay. So how much did he close out of the 100 leads?
He made over just over 100K.
And your market, your avatar, what they're obsessed with is getting more leads.
No, I don't think so, because I think they're pretty much fed up with that big promises that they're going to be flooded with leads and all that stuff. So I'm more aiming on the return on investment, which would be the 100K in 2 weeks from a $300 investment, right? It's a
So,
huge return.
okay. So basically, what I would suggest you do is you cold outreach your ideal prospects, and you say something like, hey, saw you are a contractor, trade, whatever the term is. I just helped, or one of my clients just generated 100K in new revenue in 2 weeks with a $300 investment. This is a new system that's working really well for niche/industry. I thought it'd be interesting for you. Let me know if it's worth a chat.
Yep.
And it's a simple email or DM. And what I would do is I would send like 50 of these a day.
Okay.
Super simple, right? And some of those people, for every 50, like maybe you get into a good conversation with 5 or 10,
Yeah.
and then you say something like, happy to share more. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions to really make this relevant to you? You can qualify and then say, hey, would it be worth jumping on a 20-minute call and I can walk you through the whole system on Zoom? And then on the call, you just walk them through what you would do for them and then make them the offer.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's the sort of most energy intensive way to do it.
Yeah.
The other way to, and that's where I want you to start, because if you start with using just the doc, right now you're not going to get all the market feedback that would actually be helpful. So once you've sold like a few of those that way, pay attention to what they're saying, use it to refine the offer doc. And for the next bunch, you try to sell using just the doc. So you say something like, hey, maybe there's a video you create, like a 15-minute video walking through the whole result that you got for this client, put it on YouTube or Loom, and then say, hey, here's a video that breaks down step by step how we achieve this result. And then let me know if you want me to do this for you. And they'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds amazing. How does it work? Then you send them the doc, and then you, if there's any objections or questions, you go through that, and then you try to enroll them.
Okay. Okay. So you would say
That's
start with the coaching stuff first of all. And even if I'm using, let's say yes, it's with paid ads for the results I just gave you, but there's another kid who just flows consistently 10K per weekend just because direct him in the right way, right? I could just start off with ads, but then if he has any question, doesn't have any money with for ads or anything of that stuff, which
that.
is pretty much on Facebook specifically, is pretty much
Yeah.
what you're running into, right? Then we can just say, look, we have a bunch of strategies, right?
Yeah.
And then try to pull them in this way.
So if you notice the psychology of this, we're going with the biggest outcome and the lowest price. That's what we lead with, knowing that some people will end up being like here, some people will be here, some people will be here.
Mm-hmm.
And we expose that as we get further into the sales process. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you don't have money for, like, even take our conversation right now, right? Like you're saying like, oh, I don't have a list. Okay, great. So let's scale back. Maybe we're not starting with building the offer and then launching it to your list. We got to take a couple of steps back.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that anywhere in the marketing, where I was speaking to the fact that if you don't have an audience, or you do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You'll have to do some outreach or you'll have to do a sales call or all that stuff.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah.
you to the point where you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
We scale back the solution and the process to meet people where they're at,
That makes sense.
right? Because I'm not going to be like, hey, oh, you don't have an email list or something, then sorry, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I got to create entry points at each level of the spectrum, because then everyone comes along on the same journey to the same point.
Okay. And that way I could also focus on because all the materials isn't created yet. So
Yeah.
there's everything is outlined. I have to shoot everything, but
Yeah.
if I want to cover absolutely everything, I need to film a bunch of stuff, right? This way I could, let's say some guy who wants to start in, you want to do Facebook ads, I could just concentrate on
Yeah.
doing the Facebook ads course and then add on top of it. So I don't spend 20 hours, 30 hours on something that maybe will not sell.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So validate it with three offers. So that way you said you know that there's market for it, which
Yeah.
I mean, already know that there is.
Yeah.
It's just to get more testimonials, but get more of that social proof.
Yeah. And so quick distinction here. The 3 sales to validate is for the offer doc,
Oh, okay. Okay.
because
Gotcha.
at some point we want to go from needing to do sales calls because we're still trying to understand the language and what people will respond to and all that.
Yeah.
Put that in a document and try to, because if we can cut out sales calls, that frees up like 25 hours a week for you.
Yeah.
So the validation level for the threshold for your selling by doc is 3 sales. Because if we can get 3 sales where they don't say, hey, I'm going to need to talk to you or whatever,
Mhm.
and we can trust that, okay, this document correctly captures their needs, what we're offering, how those two things interplay, and allow them to actually feel comfortable and certain in getting started with us. I'm telling you to go straight for sales.
Yeah.
You don't have to stop at 3. You could get 5, you could get 6. Because like I know from experience that let's say you have another 10K coming every month recurring.
Yeah.
You wake up next month and there's another 10K or more. And a few of those pay you 5K each to have you do it for them. Now you have 20K a month plus the 7 that, so now you're at like 27K a month.
Yep.
The Matthew at 27K a month is a different Matthew.
Oh, of course it is. Of course.
So
And these are, yeah.
then you have the patience to like iterate on the doc, get that really dialed in without feeling like, oh shit, like I gotta make some sales.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I was all building all that acquisition channel right now, all the automation and stuff, but I think I'll just focus on just getting people in with
Yeah,
outreach
yeah,
and start generating some income this way.
yeah.
Okay. And how do you keep people into your program as well? That's something that was on my mind a little bit because you
Yeah,
can give all that value up front.
yeah,
They have access to the courses, that's fine. But
yeah,
then you need to keep them engaged, right? You need to
yeah,
keep them in your, even if it's just a call a month.
yeah. Yeah, that's honestly, it depends, right? The part of it is in client selection. Like
Yeah.
I try to only work with people who, think long term. And I think people stay with me because we keep stretching what they think is possible.
Yeah.
And I keep them really focused. Like one of the things that people love in the accelerator is I make sure that every week, every single person knows exactly the next thing they need to do. We cut out everything else and we'll just do this one thing. And then next week we look at that and we're like, okay, do this next thing. And it cuts out all the overwhelm and they can put
Mhm.
blinders on and they can just execute. And then they get into momentum and flow. Don't try to like keep people in. I try to do everything that I can, but I still have very high retention.
Yeah.
Like I've
You,
only churned one person in the accelerator in its
oh,
lifetime.
that's great. That's great.
So
Yeah, you keep them accountable as well. So that's for sure adds some value to it.
yeah. But ultimately, if when people are getting value, I'm never gonna hire someone to outsource the coaching. It's a very personal business. And so when people feel that genuine sincerity, they're like, oh, okay, this is different from a lot of the stuff that they've experienced in the online space.
It is very much different. I like the philosophy behind all of this as well. I'm just showcasing the Lambo and trying to go as fast as possible. Actually
Right.
building something of value that will very much help someone. And that's the whole purpose of it. I could onboard clients and do paid ads for them
Yeah.
and bring them leads tomorrow morning. I know I could have 10 clients coming in,
Yeah.
but I know that they won't be able to have results because they don't know the other side of it, where they need to
Yeah.
pick up the phone within 5 minutes to go quickly. All that stuff that makes someone buys,
I mean,
they have no clue.
there's so many like hundreds of different like nuances and like things, right? That
Yeah,
make huge difference that is just hard to replicate in one call. That's why we all benefit from support because, oh fuck, I tried this is not working so well. What do I do now? It's like really nice to have someone to talk to and talk it through and be like, okay, what if I try this? What, okay, let me try this week and then we iterate from there.
yeah, absolutely,
So,
definitely. That makes sense. So everything in your accelerator is done through group coaching, right?
yeah,
And then you can have one-on-ones if you decide to pay up. Okay.
exactly. And I don't even push that.
No, of course not.
So it's I try to give as much value as possible because again, I'm I'm like, for me, the energy really matters. I don't want people to feel ever that I'm trying to get something from them. I would rather give overwhelming amounts of value, and the people who want more, they can choose that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I try to, because you know how I built this whole thing? I was like, how do I want to buy? How do I want to feel when I work with someone? Because I've spent a lot of money working with a lot of different people, and the experience was very underwhelming
Yeah.
because it was like one thing leads to another, which leads to another, and I'm on this conveyor belt of someone trying to extract my money, you
Yeah.
know,
No,
didn't feel,
that's exactly, yeah. And you feel it as a client. You
yeah.
do feel it.
That's why I have people who have, they're like in year 3 of working with me. I have people whose spouses send me letters. It's crazy
Yeah.
because they,
But
feel the heart.
that's what you're getting if with when you provide great coaching, because I have one client that's been with me for the past 3 years,
Yeah.
but he's the one that I'm actually coach his team. I'm actually there for anything that they need. I'm there, and he's paying me good money for a single client. That's why I want to try to replicate that with other
Yeah.
people, because the otherwise it's just burning bridges. It's the churn is so high. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's not fun.
Dude, it's insane. Like if I've seen behind the scenes of a lot of these businesses, their
Yeah.
churn is insane.
Oh, I know. It's horrible. You're selling a 5K package plus $50 a day in ad spend,
Yeah.
and it looks good on paper, but one people in 30 that works out for them. So
Wow.
it just sucks.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
insane. Like
Yeah.
it's not that doesn't sound like fun.
Oh, it's not. And it's certainly not the business model that I want to run.
Right.
And it's very hard to close if you don't
Yeah.
believe in the product.
Yeah.
So
And I also know that, I'm not the best marketer and I don't want to be the best marketer and I don't want to spend all my time marketing. I would rather just retain clients.
bro,
But
your campaign is getting a lot of traction for someone who says not good at marketing. It's very
you know,
good.
sometimes it takes 10 years to get of doing things ineffectively to like finally, but it took me like a year to put that together, like fully, like you have no idea how much I tortured myself, like with going in circles.
Yeah, it works. I keep popping in my feed, but it's always you gotta tens more comments every time I see it.
Just put blinders on, sell 3 units, do 50 units of outreach a day with that message, see how it works. You can refine it depending on the feedback you get. But I think, that should be doable.
Yeah. How many did you think I should sell with sales call before trying to Google Doc?
So you already know your niche, you know. So I don't think if you were starting from scratch in this niche, then I would say at least 5 to 10.
Yeah,
But at this point, the reason why I'm telling you to start with sales calls is because I want you to maximize the likelihood of conversion. Because I know that if you add another 3K a month in revenue, and let's say out of that one person you sell into you're done for you for 5K, that's 8K. If we added 8K, I think you will feel better. So I think the determination of that can be like 3 or 5 to give you the cash flow, because with cash flow, your brain's gonna work very differently. And then you can like you'll have more tolerance for the testing phase of validating the selling by doc.
definitely. Okay. So just a few actually, and maybe then go
Yeah.
into
Yeah. Because then we want to get to that stage of actually validating the doc, right?
hmm.
Because ultimately that's the mechanism we want to ride.
Yep. Yep.
So the best way to do that is let's get some cash in so you feel good, and then let's try to validate the doc.
Definitely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'll get started right away with this.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think in your niche, it should be fairly fast, like, because it's a very clear, tangible offer. You're not selling something intangible. So
No.
it's very cut and dry. We just need numbers.
Yeah, I saw a guy doing pretty much a version of it with,
Yeah.
and in 2 months, you got something like 30 clients, bringing in 30K a month, just like this in 2 months. And that's why I was building the acquisition channel, because it was all done via Instagram.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's just build that Instagram page and get some leads in. But yeah, so yeah, it's always the same thing as well. It's this shiny object syndrome for these guys. It's also the same thing for me. So I'm just trying to, I think outreach is going to be the fastest way to get there.
Yeah. Let's just make cash and then we can figure out what to do next. Absolutely, man. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the time, brother.
And
Thank you.
absolutely. Cheers. Bye.
All right.